Ulysses. I'm Seamus O'Shannon. For those of you who do not know me, I have been playing in and out of this area for over 15 years. I do a lot of rapier fighting, have done it for many years. I've been an instructor in USFA, the modern style of fencing, for over 20 years. About between 10 and 15 years ago, a good friend of mine approached me and said, "Hey, there's this other thing you need to look at." He says, "It's really cool." And I had been around the SCA, had been in and out of it due to real life circumstances, and had stepped away from it for a while. But they were doing, they had been with some of the Anstorns and brought some of them up, and were doing rapier fighting away from the SCA. And I said, "You need to look at this." And so I looked at it, and I was hooked. Understand, I was strictly a straight line fencer at that time, strictly used to the modern equipment with electricals. I was plugged in. I was a human yo-yo. And then I found this. This is much more enjoyable, much more fun, and much more, just a lot better game all around. What has happened in the last 10 years that a lot of people that haven't been around it don't realize is the changes. It's the same thing with heavy fighting. The changes that have gone on in the technology, in the scholarship of what has happened. People have dug back, found more manuals, found out what was going on. Also, the betterment, the increase in equipment, going from fighting with foils and épées, which don't move right when you use them with the period manuals. They're too whippy, they're too fast, and they just don't handle right. Going to newer, older, rebated rapiers, cutting weapons that are shaped much more like the real thing, yet fully flexible. There's no edge on it, still tip. But the difference is this moves so much closer to true as far as when you make the cuts, when you make the strikes, when you make the blocks, it moves like a real rapier. That has really increased the way that, in my mind, the fun of the game. It's made it much more realistic. It's also made it safer at the same time, which is really neat. Foils and épées are fragile little animals. I mean, they will break very easily. I can take a foil, take it in my hands, go like this, and snap it in two. I can't do it with this one, I guarantee you. It's a solid piece of steel. At the same time, it's still a control issue. The cool part is I don't have to worry about breaking this on someone if I accidentally overhit slightly. Where with a foil or an épée, if they fail, they're going to fail pretty badly. That's why there's all the, you notice all the layers of padding that we put on as we go. Not as much as the steel, not as much as the heavy fighter is concerned about, but still it's a valid concern. That's been addressed, and to my opinion, extremely well. So it's really win-win-win as far as, from the rapier fighter standpoint, going to this style of weaponry. And to wit, the best news I can say is this. The level of training stepped up with it all across the known world. I was very pleased to go play at Gulf War this year. As an example, of those of you that have been there, have ever been down the dreaded ravine, you know of where I speak. There was they had a resurrection battle for Rapier. There were 230, 40 odd fighters on the field playing Rapier. There were no injuries. It's never happened before, and I don't know if it's going to happen again, but it says a lot about the quality of the durability of the weaponry and how safe it is. Now, what I'm going to show you all today, we're going to go through basically my beginning schooling of what I would teach someone if they came onto my chalet or came onto my field to show them how to fight with these systems. The people, of course, that I've got here to help me today are all very experienced. Most of them play all the time. Some of them play occasionally, but they're all as far as safety-wise. Frankly, for the footwork, and that's where we're going to start out at, if I could get you all to take the field, just leave your blades and masks behind right now. We don't really need them. I know you don't want to get in and out of yours, Gaston, that's cool. So you can cook in it instead. Besides, it looks so stylish. Oh, thank you. The first thing we're going to work on is footwork. First things first, always want to be planted where you know where you're going to be standing at. Because if you can make that same shot every time, if your feet are in the same place every time, the shot's going to naturally fall the same way every time. So please go to on guard. Good. Nice forward stance. Make sure that that you're balanced, you're even over, knees are bent slightly. There's a lot of movement potential there. You're not out of balance. I'm going to push you around a little bit. Notice, he's in balance. I mean, you know, I can bang him around a little bit, but he's not moving a whole lot. What happens is, once you're in that stance, you're really balanced. You can move quickly. You can move left or right. You can move forward and back. You can circle. It all works really well. Okay. Let's go. Let's advance. Take an advance. Okay, good. Notice the feet land in the same position. So as you advance to retreat, go ahead and retreat. The feet stay planted in the same place every time. Move left.
Your left.
Yeah, my stage left, your real left. Okay. All right. Move right. Good. Okay, advance. Good. Move left. Good. Okay. Circle right.
No, hit your class.
There you go. Good. Okay. Advance. Good. Circle left. Back to me. Good. Okay. Circle left again. Okay. Notice every time they move and turn, their feet are going right back to the same spot. Why? Because that is a trigger point. The way I always describe it in my classes, and I'm going to jump out of periods for just a moment on this. The way I describe it is like if you've ever been up around Fort Riley, you watch an M1 tank roll across the hills up there. You know, they're running over berms like this, 45 miles an hour, and that barrel's just going like this. It doesn't bounce. Same thing is going on here. The foundation is set solid and straight, and always there. That blade's going to go to the same point every time. You don't have to think about it. One of the things about this, even though it moves slower than the old foil or K and that stuff, Rapier still is a fast game. If you can make that shot without thinking about it, you're going to naturally be faster than if you have to stop and think, what am I going to do next? Now, if you can think it out and make your, plan it in advance, do your moves, practice, 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 you're going to be much faster if you're doing the same position every time than if you're out of whack every time. Okay, all right, relax for a second, guys. Okay, so you're basically seeing the basic moves of it. Turns, straight forward and back, side to side, and turn. What they're doing is, I've got one person in leading, I've got one person that's following. What they're attempting to do is stay completely in distance. As they move forward and back, side to side, and around, what they're doing is they're staying at that distance. What that does is, at that distance, at that range, neither one can touch the other. And that's a good thing. That way they're safe, and until the person makes a move to attack, they know right where they're at. As you can see, he's working back and forth. He's not getting any real advanced directive of what he's doing. He's just doing it. The other person's having to follow. As they move back and forth, it's moving a little further, a little more in, a little more out, but they're staying at distance. So notice also they're landing, their footwork's basically still staying the same. They're getting back to that stance. Okay.
Let's try that one again. One more time.
All right. Okay, go ahead and stop. Thank you, gentlemen. That's a distancing drill that we do, and it works really well. It keeps people safe. If you're fighting, it keeps you out of range until you're ready to step into range.